Hello friends, let us continue with the demand function which I have already started. See, we were discussing about the law of demand, and we completed that discussing and analyzing that the law of demand states that whenever the price of the particular commodity increases, demand decreases, and vice versa. When the price decreases, demand increases. This is what we have studied. And then we continued with the exceptional cases where this demand curve does not work. Like I have given exceptions in case of necessary goods, in case of those goods which symbolize the status in the society. Then there are certain speculations made by the individual that the price of the commodity may increase in the future. So even if the present price is very high, but still the demand does not change and people go on buying those products. And there is another factor, the last factor or the reason which we discussed was illusion. Illusion means what? We have a concept or we have a mindset that, what is the mindset? Our mindset is that costly product means the quality will be best and the use will be best. Okay, so what happens even if the prices of certain commodity is very high or it is very costly, still we go on buying those products, and as such the demand curve is from left to right. Okay, so that part we have complete. Now let us discuss today in this class, let us discuss about demand function. As I have told you, the demand function clearly has been explained in this particular equation where we are saying Dn. Dn is the function of what? Pn, Pc, Ps, Y and T, where Pn is the price of the commodity, Pc is the price of the complementary product, Ps is the price of the substitute, Y stands for income and T stands for preference or taste. So this is the demand function. Now the demand function is operating on the law of demand, and it says that demand and price are inversely, that is Dn and Pn are inversely having inverse relationship. Dn is inversely, or Dn relationship with Pn is inverse. Dn is inverse to Pn. Which means, what does it mean? Price decrease will lead to demand increase. Okay, demand increase. Are you getting my point? Price decrease will lead to demand increase. This is what this demand function talk about. Is it clear? So the demand function can be clearly explained as the function of Pn, Pc, Ps, Y and T, where Pn is the price of the commodity, Pc is the price of the complementary, Ps is equal to price of the substitute, Y is the income of the person, T is the taste. Okay, but as we have known that Dn is inverse to Pn, that means price decreases means demand increases. Okay, now let us discuss the determinants of demand. Now here we can discuss the determinants of demand. Determinants. What are the determinants of demand? Okay, now what do you mean by determinants? Determinants, what are the factors of demand? The first is price of the, that is the most important factor which helps us to understand the function of or the relationship between Dn and Pn is the price of the product or price of the good. This one is price of the good. So how? See, as we have already discussed, demand depends upon the price, which we have already been discussing according to law of demand. Now the price of the commodity is a very important factor or a very important determinant to understand the demand factor. Now when price goes on increasing, the demand of particular product goes on decreasing. This is a general phenomenon. And on the other side, vice versa, is that when the price of the commodity increases, demand decreases. When the price decreases, demand increases. So price of the good is very important. Then comes the price of the substitute goods. See, another important determinant is what is the price of substitute goods. Substitute means what? Substitute goods. Substitute means what? Like we can have, take for example tea and coffee. Tea and coffee. This is a small example. See, tea is a substitute of coffee or coffee is a substitute of tea. Now, if the price of tea, see, we are all habituated of taking tea every day, daily 2 cups, 3 cups. So people are habituated or people are addicted to tea, and maybe some people are taking 5 or 10 cups of tea. Okay, but as you know, the price of tea is less than the price of coffee in the market. But due to some reason, suppose the price of tea, okay, what we are consuming, from rupees, say for rupees 30, 1 kg it becomes rupees 100. Coffee price reduces from 70 to 40. Now, see, here you see there is a fall in the price of coffee, 70 to 40. Coffee price is now 70 to 40, but tea price has increased from 30 to say 90. So, you see the difference? Tea which we are consuming daily basis, the prices all of a sudden increase. Maybe whatever may be the factor or reason. Maybe the supply is less, or maybe there are some problems, or maybe due to some transportation, whatever may be the reason. All of a sudden the price of tea has increased to rupees 90 per kg, but coffee has reduced from 70 to 40. Now what will happen? What will happen? The general tendency says that whenever the price of substitute goods decreases, we have a tendency to buy that good where the price is less. So people who were habituated of taking tea will now prefer coffee. But there may be exceptions also. But the determinants of demand says that the price of substitute product or the price of the substitute goods plays a very important role. Okay, like I gave you example of tea and coffee. Then the next factor is price of complementary goods. So what is complementary? Let us try to understand that. Price of complementary goods. Okay, so here we are trying to understand price of, say for example, suppose let us take the example of petrol and car. Okay, car and petrol. They are complementary products, car and petrol. Okay, suppose the petrol, there is a steep fall in the, suppose from rupees 70, the petrol price comes to rupees 50. There is a fall in price. Fall in price. So what will happen? If there is all of a sudden there is a decrease or fall in the price of the petrol, then what will happen? The market condition will be slightly changed. Now how change? People will tend to buy more cars because they can afford the price of petrol. See, the price of car is constant. Like suppose I buy a car for 5 lakh rupees or 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs or whatever it may be. But one lucrative or attractive thing is now the price of the petrol has come down. So car and petrol are complementary products. So what happens when the petrol prices comes down from 70 to 50, there will be a demand for the what? Sale of car because petrol prices has come down. So this is the concept of price of complementary goods. So like this we may have n number of examples. I will give you another example is like suppose the price of butter, like bread and butter, falls down. Then what will happen? People will bring more butter and the sale of breads will increase. Why? Because the cost of butter has come down. Are you getting my point? See, like, or say for example, suppose the price of cement, sand and other things falls down. Then what will happen? If this falls down, then the buildings will be highly in demand because the price has come down, like price of cement, or you say price of iron rods, or price of bricks if comes down, then the demand of buildings will rise high because these are complementary to each other. So similarly, if the price of petrol comes down, the demand for cars will be slowly high in the market because the price of petrol has come down and people can now afford, or people feel that yes, within my purchasing capacity I can buy a car because petrol price has come down. So this is complementary. Then comes income. This is a very important factor, income of a consumer. What is the income level of a consumer? Okay, income means what is your income, like whether your income is between a particular range, or you have a high range of income where you can spend lavishly, or your income is restricted. So it depends upon your income. If your income is high, then you can have the products, your purchasing power is more and you can buy the products. But on the other hand, if your income is less, or suppose you were earning 10,000 rupees earlier, now you are earning 20,000. So your purchasing power has increased and the demand for the product will also increase. But suppose your income has come down. Okay, you were, say for example, a person was earning 50,000 per month, but now due to some reason he is earning only 30,000, that is 20,000 is less. So what will happen? The buying capacity will come down and the demand will also come down. Are you getting my point? Okay, so income of a consumer plays a very vital role in determining the demand. If income is more, demand will be more. If income is less, demand will be also less. The next factor is the population. Population is a very important factor because how population can be a determinant of demand, I can say you, how population will be a determinant of demand. See, there are places which are highly populated and places which are scanty populated, or places where there is very thin population. But where the places are highly populated, like India. India is a country where the population is very high. So always there will be a demand of the products in the market. So the demand will be always at a higher range. Okay, why? Because the population is growing. So with the increase of the population or with the increase of the people, what will happen? Consumption is more. Consumption is more means demand will automatically increase. So the size of population or the number of people residing will also determine the demand of a particular commodity. Say for example, suppose there is a small village where only 300 people are residing or staying. So as the number is only restricted to 300 or the population is only 300, the demand of the products will be also less. But imagine a place where there are some 50,000 or 1 lakh or 5 lakhs people are staying. Definitely or obviously the demand of the products will be always high because the population determines the level of demand. Is it clear? Then comes to the last factor, that is climate. See, this is also a very important geographical factor, that is climate, which is a determinant of your demand. Like many things depend on climate. Like suppose for example, India is a country which is having a tropical kind of climate. Like here climate is like that we are experiencing less of cold, but throughout the year it is very hot. So what will happen? The demand for AC, cooler, other fans will be always high in the market. Okay, because the climatic. But suppose you take a place, like suppose there is a place at the hill station where the climate is very cool. So demand, like Bangalore. Bangalore is a city where throughout the year it is very pleasant, very cool. And sometimes it rains and becomes very good. So some people are there in Bangalore, or almost all I know, that the use of AC is very limited. Why? Because already the place is cool and they don't need a AC. Is it clear? So depending upon the climatic situation, the demand of the particular product may rise. So climate plays a very vital role. A place like Berhampur where we have a very the climate here is very sticky because of the sea beach, Gopalpur sea beach nearby. So what happens? We feel very uneasy, especially during the summer, right from May, June, July, we feel very uneasy. Even till December, we don't experience much of cold, only for 15-20 days. So depending on the climatic condition, you will see the sale of AC or the demand for AC increases, and people prefer buying an AC because it gives them comfort. So here we have seen that how climate is a determining factor for the demand. So depending upon the climate or depending upon the conditions of climate, the demand for the product may increase or decrease. Okay, got it? So we have here discussed the demand function, and these are the determinants of demand. What are the determinants of demand? That is price of the goods, one of the important determinants, then price of the substitute goods, then price of the complementary goods. Okay, substitute means, as I told you, tea and coffee. If the price of substitute goods increases, then we prefer the other good which is now less in price. Price of complementary goods means, I gave the example of car and petrol. Okay, suppose the petrol prices decreases all of a sudden, then people start buying car more, so demand increases. Then income of a consumer is an individual factor where if the income is high, demand will be more, and if income is less, demand will be less. Then comes population. Population is a very important criteria because the size of the people or the size of population determines like whether the demand of the product or commodity will be very high or less. Okay, suppose the population of a particular place is very high or that is a thickly populated area और many people are there, बहुत सारे लोग रहते हैं, तो क्या होगा, वहाँ पे डिमांड ज़्यादा रहेगा because people need those products. On the other hand, जहाँ पे population बहुत कम है और very thin population, then the demand will be very less. Okay. Then is the last factor, climate. Climate is also a very important factor because depending upon the climatic situations, depending upon the climate, we can say what kind of products are in demand. Like I was giving an example, in a cool climate, the demand for AC may not be there. But in a climate where it is very hot, like places like Mumbai, like Berhampur, and places like Gujarat, all these places, they have a pretty well high demand for products like AC, refrigerators, because the climate is very hot. But places which are situated in a cooler part, the northern part of our country, or you can say in the world, which are situated in different kind of climatic situation, the demand for the product like AC, suppose cooler climate, the demand for AC will slowly decrease. So climate plays a very important role. So these are the 6 determinants: price of goods, price of substitute, price of complementary goods, income of consumer, population and climate. So this is your demand function, where Dn stands for, where Dn can be explained as a functional relationship between Pn, which is the price of the good, okay, Pc, price of the complementary, okay, Ps is the price of substitute, we discuss now. Y is the income, okay, we have discussed the income of the consumer. T is the taste and preference, then population and climate. Is it clear? Okay. Now let us move little bit further. Okay, let us move little bit forward. Okay, I hope this part is clear. Now let us move little bit further and try to discuss. We'll finish this part today. We'll discuss what are the different types of demand. Okay. Let us discuss types of demand. Types of demand. Is it clear? Okay, so we have already studied what is demand. Demand is the purchasing power, or it is the willingness to pay for a particular commodity. So what is demand? Purchasing power or willingness to pay is known as demand. Now let us discuss the types of demand. Types of demand. Okay. Now types of demand. Demand actually of 3 types, that is price demand, income demand and cross demand. Okay. So we will be studying demand in 3 categories: price demand. Okay, I'll explain you one by one. Price demand, income demand and cross demand. Price, income, cross demand. Okay. So we have already discussed the demand curve. We have already discussed the concept of demand. And we have discussed how the demand curve slope downwards. Now let us discuss the types of demand. I have given a demand function where f is equal to function of Pn, Pc, Ps, Y, T. Okay. Now what are the 3 types? One is first let us try to understand what is this price demand. See, the price demand explains the relationship between price and commodity. Okay. We have already discussed that. That is price. First is the price demand. Okay. Price demand explains the relationship between price and demand of the product. Price and demand. So what is the relationship? We have already discussed. The relationship says that when the price increases, demand decreases. When the price decreases, demand decreases. So dx is equal to fx. Okay, dx is equal to f into px. Okay, and here we will get a sloping curve. Why sloping curve? Because with the decrease in price, the demand will decrease. Like suppose it is 100, 150, 200, 250. So we will get a sloping curve. Okay. So the income price demand states what? Price demand explains the relationship between price and demand of the product, and as we have already studied, if the price, when the price starts decreasing, the demand will increase. Okay, and the slope or the curve will be always downwards. Now that means price less, demand more, price more, demand less. Okay, this is the price. Second, let us discuss the income demand. What is income? Price we have already understood. Please keep in mind. Price demand means inverse relationship. Price is more, demand is less. But price is less, demand is more. Then is income. What is this income demand? Okay. Now the income demand is the relationship between the income of the consumer. What is the income of the consumer and the demand of the product? Relationship between, it explains the relationship between income of a consumer and the what? Demand of a product. Demand of a product. Is it clear? So here what we are studying, we are actually trying to understand what is the relationship between income of a consumer and demand for a product. Now, it is quite clear that whenever the income is more, the demand or purchase power will be more, so demand will be also more. Now, this relationship can, like suppose income is more, that means your purchase power is more, so demand will be automatically more. Demand is increased. Is it clear? Okay. Your income is more means purchase power is more and the demand will be increased. On the other hand, if your income is less, suppose you have restricted income or very less income, then what will happen? Your purchasing power is restricted and demand is also decreased. So, it is a very direct relationship. Okay. Now, this we can understand by two different ways. One is income demand can be explained for two different kind of products. One is the normal product and one is the inferior product. Now, what is this normal product and inferior product? The types of this income demand we can explain in two types. One is the normal product or quality product, normal or quality product. And another one is your inferior product. Inferior product. Like inferior means the goods which are not of the up to the mark. Inferior product. Are you getting my point? See, in income demand, we are trying to understand what is the relationship between income of a consumer and demand of a product. So, as I told you, if the income of a particular consumer is more, then what will happen? The purchasing power increases. Now, if the purchasing power increases, then the demand for the particular product also increases. Now, this thing we can understand under two different conditions. One is the normal goods or the quality based goods. Another is the inferior goods. Now, what happens in case of normal goods? In case of normal goods, what will happen? If the quality of goods is good, then the demand will always increase. Okay. If there is a fall in price of those quality goods, the demand will increase and we will get a slope like this. Like you see here, for normal goods, we will get a curve like this. Is it clear? For normal goods. But second, for inferior goods, Okay, inferior goods will get a curve like this. So now see the difference why we are getting a curve like this. Okay. Now here it is the income. Okay, this is the income. This is demand. This is income. This is demand. Now you see the difference. Here the first particular curve shows that these are normal goods or quality goods and this is the demand. Now what happens, as we have studied, if the price comes down, demand will increase. So we have a sloping curve according to law of demand. Please remember, the law of demand holds that or says that when the price of the commodity decreases, the demand increases and vice versa. So this holds true in this case. But you see the second part there where we have inferior goods, where the goods are not of better quality. What happens? We have a curve like this. Now why we have a curve like this? Because these goods are inferior. Okay, inferior in a sense that they are not having the quality. Is it clear? Then come to the last part is the cross demand. Okay, now this is price, income. Now let us discuss what is cross demand. Okay, what is cross demand? Cross demand actually explains the relationship between price of one commodity and the demand for another. Right? What is this? A relationship between price of one commodity and demand for another commodity Is it clear? Okay. So here in cross demand, first was your price demand, where we have seen the inverse relationship. Then came the income demand, which is very clear that if income increases, purchase power will increase and the demand will also increase. Then the cross demand explains the relationship between price of one commodity and the demand of another commodity. Like why it is so? This holds like why it is known as cross demand, because this we can study in case of your substitute products or substitute goods and also in case of your complementary goods. Okay, so in these two cases we can understand the concept of cross demand. Now how it is applicable? Now you see, I have told you that substitute goods have a direct relationship between price of commodity. Like I told you, like suppose the price, like tea and coffee are substitute goods. Suppose the prices of tea all of a sudden increases in an alarming, suppose all of a sudden there is a quite increase, like by rupees 20, 30 or 50 or 60 rupees of the cost of tea. So what will happen is, the people will start consuming coffee instead of tea. That means, see, we are discussing here that in cross demand explains the relationship between price of one commodity and demand. So here see, we are taking tea. Tea price has increased. Now what will happen? The demand for coffee, the substitute product is coffee. The demand of coffee will not happen, it will increase. Why? Because the cost of coffee is intact, rupees 40 it is intact. But here the price has increased to 70 rupees. So now what will happen? People will have more coffee. That means we are studying the impact of the price of one commodity which has on the another demand of the another commodity. That is, when the price of tea has increased, okay, then there is a increase in the price of increase in the demand of coffee. Why? Because people are not interested to buy now tea because the cost of tea has increased. So when there is a increase in a particular price of a particular commodity, then that has an impact on its substitute product. Substitute product is the coffee. So what happens? The demand for coffee all of a sudden increases in the market because the price of tea has increased. Is it clear? Then Complementary. If two or complementary means when two or more products are used. Now let us discuss the complementary goods. That is substitute. Now let us discuss the complementary. Now what is complementary? Complementary means when two or more goods are used to satisfy a single want of an individual consumer. Okay. When two, complementary means when two or more goods are used to satisfy a single want of a consumer. Say for example, I'll give an example here. Suppose you think of people taking tea. Okay, for tea what we require is milk is required, sugar, tea. Okay, so suppose people who are fond of taking tea, they require these three things: milk, sugar and tea. So what happens now? Suppose the price of milk increases. Okay, what happens? The price of milk increases means the demand of tea will come down. Why? Because the price of milk has increased. So we will get a slope like this. Again we will be getting a slope, this will be tilting towards sloping downwards. Did you get my point? So in complementary products what happens? Complementary products are those products where two or three products are used together to satisfy one want. Suppose I am interested of taking tea, like I am fond of taking tea, means when I have to take tea I need milk also, or milk powder, I need sugar, I need tea. Okay. Now what has happened is the cost of milk has raised. Like suppose milk was now 20 rupees per packet, now the price of milk has increased to 50 rupees or 30 or maybe 100 rupees. So what will happen? The demand for tea will slowly come down. Why? Because one of the cost of the complementary products has increased. So it has an impact on the total demand for tea. So we will get a slope which is coming towards downwards. Are you getting my point? So we have three types of demand. One is the income demand, one is the price demand, one is the cost demand. Income demand is what? Income demand says that if your income is high, then your purchasing power is more and demand for the product is automatically more. Then what does your price demand says? Price demand says that if there is an inverse relationship where if the price of the commodity increases, demand decreases, but on the other hand, if the price of the commodity decreases, demand increases. Is it clear? Then come to the last part, that is the cross demand. Cross demand explains the relationship between the price of one commodity and the demand for another commodity. Now how this is possible? This is possible in case of your substitute goods and in case of your complementary goods. Now what happens in case of substitute and complementary goods? See, substitute goods are like tea, coffee. Tea is a substitute of coffee, or some butter is a substitute of other spreads like cheese spread. And suppose the cost of butter all of a sudden increases. So people stop buying butter and they will look for other substitute like cheese spread or any other thing is there which we can apply on bread and have it. Those are fond of eating sandwich or bread. So what happens? When the price of a particular good increases, we switch over to the substitute goods and the demand for substitute good increases. Why? Because the other part, like as I told you, if coffee price increases, people will switch to tea. If tea prices increases, people will switch over to coffee and the demand of the substitute product will gradually increase. Then in case of complementary goods are those goods where two or three goods are used at a particular point of time to provide satisfaction or give satisfaction, okay, to give satisfaction for a particular want or single want. So what happens here is when we are consuming a product which is where two or three products are combined, like I gave you example of tea, for drinking tea I require milk, sugar and tea. Suppose the cost of milk increases, then what happens? Slowly the demand for tea will decrease. Why? Because milk is an important ingredient of tea and it is a complementary product. So all these three products are equally important to satisfy a single want, that is having tea. So if the cost of any one of the product is increasing at an alarming rate, or all of a sudden there is a big increase like on tea or sugar or on milk powder, then the demand will gradually come down. Is it clear? So this is all about your types of demand, where we have tried to understand that types of demands are three types: income demand and your price demand and your cross demand. And we have tried to understand the functions of demand and the determinants of demand, where we have told that the determinants of demand are again the price of the goods, price of substitute goods, price of complementary goods, then the income of a consumer, then the climate, okay, because climate plays a very important role, and also the population. Thick population means demand will be high for the products, but thin population or very less population means demand will be less. Similarly, if income is more, purchasing power is more, demand will be more, and vice versa. Then climate. Climate, depending upon the climate situations, the demand of the product will increase or decrease. Is it clear? You know, as I told you, in hot climate, the demand for AC is more other than other products. Similar in a cooler climate, the demand for products like AC, cooler is less, because already the climate is very cool. Okay. Then price of the product, I told you, it is inverse relationship. More price, less demand, less price, more demand. Then price of substitute goods means if the price of the particular substitute goods increases, then the other goods will be more in demand. And complementary goods means, suppose as I told you, car and petrol, if the car is complementary to petrol, so if petrol prices suddenly come down, then the demand for car will be more. Why? Because people will think that yes, now the price of the petrol has come down, so I can afford a car and I will have a, like, I am comfortable buying a car and riding a car because the petrol prices have come down. Is it clear? So this is all about your demand function. Next class we are going to discuss little bit more examples, and then we will study the theory of supply, and we'll try to complete the demand part. The next class we are going to discuss about the elasticity of demand. What is the concept of elasticity of demand, how it works, and what are the different curves under it, or how it operates, what are the reasons and different explanations. I hope that whatever we have discussed today regarding theory of demand, determinants of demand, types of demand, what are the exceptional cases, why it happens, so why the curve comes down, slopes down, or why the curve comes from left to right. I feel that all these things you have understood. So please go through it, think about it, try to understand the explanations which have been given today. Okay, and these things are quite fundamental, which I have told you in the class, citing some very common examples, and go through it and have a nice day. Next class, as I told you, we will be discussing about the elasticity of demand. Okay, thank you, have a nice day.